The war in West Asia has practically resulted in a massive maritime traffic jam in the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz, which is, remember, one of the world's most critical energy routes, leaving nearly 750 ships trapped in the chaos, including around 100 container ships. Industry leaders estimate that nearly 10% of the entire global container fleet now sits stranded in or around this narrow waterway. The crisis erupted after US and Israeli strikes on Iran triggered swift retaliation from Tehran. Maritime insurers reportedly immediately withdrew coverage for vessels attempting to pass through the strait, effectively freezing commercial movement through one of the planet's most important trade corridors. Following the attacks, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps said that the Strait of Hormuz remains closed and threatened to set ablaze any vessel that attempts to transit the passage. The Strait of Hormuz connects major oil producers, including Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates, to global markets through the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. Nearly 20% of the world's daily oil consumption flows through this narrow channel, which measures just 33 kilometers at its tightest point. By shutting it down, Iran has acted on years of threats to block the route in response to the military pressure. But Iran produces roughly 3.4 million barrels per day and relies heavily on oil exports for revenue. Annual oil earnings are estimated between $50 and $70 billion, much of it flowing through the same Strait of Hormuz corridor, which is now at risk. Any prolonged disruption or blockage would not only impact global supply, it would hit Iran's own export lifeline as well. Energy infrastructure and shipping lanes have become direct pressure points in other parts of West Asia as well. Recent incidents have been reported near tanker routes in the Gulf of Oman. The broader maritime corridor linking the Gulf to the Red Sea and the Suez Canal also remains under heightened threat. In Qatar, meanwhile, Qatar Energy has paused LNG production, risking around 20% of global LNG supply from the market. In Saudi Arabia, Aramco's Ras Tanura refinery, which is one of the kingdom's largest crude and refined product hubs, has temporarily shut down after a drone strike-induced fire. The halt impacts roughly 550,000 barrels per day. In Israel, on the other hand, offshore gas fields have temporarily suspended operations, reducing regional gas flows to Egypt and domestic markets. Across the Gulf, shipping lines have halted or rerouted tankers, compounding supply risk. The war has already impacted global oil markets. Traders fear that prolonged energy disruption could send crude prices surging and further destabilize energy supplies worldwide. How long will the world witness an energy chokehold with consequences far beyond the Gulf remains to be seen.